December 14th, 2025. A seemingly perfect summer day in Bondi Beach, Australia's most famous beach. It's 5:30 p.m. and the beach is crowded with people. The Hanukkah by the Sea Festival has just begun. The event is held on a lawn area right next to the beach. Hundreds are celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. Families, children, and elderly members of the Jewish community. Suddenly, gunfire erupts. The two gunmen, dressed in black, begin firing long guns into the crowd from a footbridge overlooking the beach. Civilians are falling to the bullets one by one. Panic took over. In a few minutes, local police rush to the scene, but it's too late. 16 people have already passed away, and over 40 others are injured. How did everything go down? Who are the shooters, and what's their motive? We modeled the entire thing to show you exactly how the Bondi Beach mass shooting happened, Australia's worst terror attack in the last 30 years. The biggest mass shooting in Australian history was the Port Arthur massacre in April 1996, the incident that fundamentally changed the country's laws and led to the near-total ban on semi-automatic weapons. But that didn't stop history from repeating itself. This time, the setting was Bondi Beach, the most famous beach in the country. It's 6:30 p.m. The sun is beginning to dip over Sydney's eastern suburbs. On the street, it looks like any other Sunday. A white SUV pulls into a parking bay on a side street just off Campbell Parade. Inside are two men, 50-year-old Sajid Akram and his 24-year-old son, Naveed. They aren't tourists, and they are heavily armed. In the back of the vehicle, they check their gear. They have multiple semi-automatic long guns and high-powered rifles which Sajid obtained through his legal firearm licenses. They also have a bag filled with basic improvised explosive devices. They leave the bombs in the car as a secondary trap and step out. Both men are dressed in tactical black. They don't walk toward the sand. They head for the footbridge, the high ground overlooking Archer Park. By 6:40 p.m., they reach their vantage point. Below them, the Hanukkah by the Sea Festival is in full swing. There are hundreds of people. From the footbridge, the gunmen have a clear, unobstructed line of sight. They are elevated and invisible to the crowd below. They shoulder their rifles. They're not looking for a fight, they're looking for a massacre. 6:45 p.m. The first bullets are fired. It hits a 10-year-old girl standing near the stage. Then, the air fills with the rhythmic crack of semi-automatic fire. The gunmen are firing in synchronized bursts, raking the crowd from left to right. The panic is instant. On the beach, there is nowhere to hide. Beachgoers dive into the surf, desperately swimming away from the shore. On the grass, it's a stampede. People scramble toward Campbell Parade, but the gunmen have the angle. 6:48 p.m., the father and son split up to widen their field of fire. The father moves down to street level. This is where the momentum shifts. As he crouches behind a car to reload, a local fruit shop owner sees his opening. He doesn't have a weapon, but he has a clear line of sight. He sprints across the pavement and tackles Naveed. The two men hit the ground hard. Ahmed is wrestling for the barrel of the rifle, trying to point it away from the civilians. For a few frantic seconds, the shooting stops. The son Naveed sees the struggle from the bridge. He opens fire on Ahmed, the fruit shop owner, forcing him to drop the gun and dive for cover. Sajid gets himself back on the bridge. Police are starting to surround the shooters. It's about to go down. 6:50 p.m. The first batch of law enforcement arrives. The gunmen realize their time is short. They move off and on, firing at anyone who moves. They retreat toward a more defensible position near the park entrance. For the next 15 minutes, Bondi becomes a war zone. Two officers are hit in the initial exchange. 7:08 p.m. Tactical units have the shooters pinned. In a final heavy exchange of gunfire, police marksmen find their target. Sajid Akram is hit multiple times and falls. He's killed instantly. Naveed is shot in the torso. He goes down, still reaching for his weapon, but officers swarm him. The shooting is over. 16 people are dead. 40 are wounded. Police lights are flickering, but the park is covered in shell casings and discarded sandals. As the bomb squad moves in to clear the explosives found in the white SUV, reality sets in. This wasn't a random act of violence. It was a calculated father-son mission. Australia's most famous beach is now the site of its darkest day in 30 years. The attackers were a father and son duo, identified as 50-year-old Sajid Akram and 24-year-old Naveed Akram. Sajid, the father, arrived in Australia from Pakistan in 1998 on a student visa and later became a permanent resident. He was a licensed firearm owner who legally possessed the 6 long-barreled guns used in the massacre. His son, Naveed, is an Australian-born citizen and was a recently unemployed bricklayer, described by his family as a quiet, non-social individual who enjoyed outdoor activities like fishing and diving. While the pair told their family they were heading on a fishing trip to Jervis Bay, they instead staged a calculated ambush. Police later discovered ISIS flags and improvised explosive devices in their van. In 2019, Naveed had been investigated by the Australian Security Intelligence Organization for his associations with a suspected ISIS cell in Sydney. But he was cleared at the time after authorities found no direct indication of an ongoing threat. Sajid, the father, is dead, while Naveed remains in critical condition under police guard. The aftermath of this attack will change Australia forever. The government is already moving to close the gaps that allowed Sajid Akram to legally own 6 high-powered rifles. A new national firearms register is being fast-tracked to track every weapon in the country more strictly. The investigation into the Bondi Beach Massacre is moving under Operation Arqueys, led by the Joint Counter-Terrorism Team. Overnight, police raided the family home in Bonnyrigg and a short-term rental in Campsie, seizing extremist materials and 3 improvised explosive devices. Detectives are now focused on a digital forensic trail to see if the pair received help from an overseas network or if this was a self-radicalized family cell. As of today, the death toll from the Bondi Beach Massacre stands at 16 people. This includes 14 victims who died at the scene and 2 who passed away in the hospital. The victims represent a wide cross-section of the community, ranging in age from a 10-year-old girl named Matilda to an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor. Many remain in critical condition as they undergo surgery. One major question remains unanswered. Did the Akrams act alone, or is this shooting just the visible surface of a deeper operation? Only time could tell. If you're interested in becoming a YouTuber, whether a personal channel or a faceless one, we made a document to help you understand a few key points before you actually invest in YouTube. Click the link in the description. It's completely free. Subscribe and we'll see you on the next one.